What's up, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of the Sit Down. As always, if you enjoy this breaking news story, please do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're new around here or you just haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button below now so you never miss another sit down video. Everybody, we are back. This is a breaking news story, and we are jumping in to a story out of my city, my area, the Philadelphia area. And no, we're not talking about the mafia today. We are talking about another organized crime group, and they go by a very familiar name. I'm going to break down an indictment that dropped yesterday and was unsealed, and I have it on a group called Omerta Gang. They are out of Strawberry Mansion in Philadelphia. And I know a lot of people have been looking for this indictment, and I'm going to go through it. This straight up is something out of the mob's playbook. This is 2024 organized crime. It's that simple. It is no different than an indictment involving Skinny Joey Merlino and the mafia. There is murder here. There is extortion type things here. There is gambling. There is fraud. There is drug dealing. There's all sorts of stuff in this indictment. And it centers around the pick of the litter, as they say, the leader and reputed enforcer of this group, a person called Jaleel Williams, aka 25th Street Bill, Kill Bill. And he's the guy that these feds are painting as the head of this group. His chief enforcer, according to what the indictment says, are various people. One of them is this guy, a person called Hanif Robertson, aka Black Neef 25th Street. And all these guys are from the area between 25th and 30th Street in Strawberry Mansion, near the area of Diamond Street, all that area. And a lot of these guys have a particular connection to Zoo Gang as well, which is another reputed group in the area. These guys are bad guys. And I'm going to go through the indictment. So do me a favor, bear with me. Let me get the screen up. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to go through this indictment because not everybody has it. So let's jump into it. Let me do me one solid here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Hold on one second here. One sec. There we go. That should make it a little bit bigger. And if you're playing along at home, I'm going to make it as big as I can. Unfortunately, there's only so much I can do. All right, so here we go. This is the obvious front page. There's 8 defendants in this case. All of them are reputed members of the Omerta Gang. One of the people arrested here at the bottom, this guy, Harry Draper, he's in his 40s, and he was involved in some of the things that we'll go through here today. So obviously, this is kind of the material related to this indictment, essentially. And I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm just going to go through some of the main points. The defendants and others are members of a local criminal organization known as Omerta, based in the Strawberry Mansion neighborhood of North Philadelphia, specifically, as I said, in the area between 25th and 30th Street in that neighborhood. Omerta Gang planned and committed criminal activity, including murders, murder for hire, attempted murder, shooting, firearms possession, counterfeiting, money laundering, illegal gambling, obstruction of justice, robbery, drug trafficking, as well as mail and wire fraud related to COVID-19 relief payments. Now, this is one of the things that is really interesting in this case. These guys were enterprising individuals as well. They weren't just going out and selling drugs and shooting people. These guys were also engaged in producing fake money. And what they did in kind of an amazing, elaborate scheme is they took fake counterfeit money up and down the East Coast, out of the area of Philadelphia. They went out into the townships, into other counties near Philadelphia, including the county that I live in, places like Montgomery, Bucks, all sorts of areas, and exchanged fake money for goods and got real money back. They also committed $450,000 in COVID-19 fraud. And what is at the pick of this case, is at the center of this case, is using intimidation, but also using social media to not only promote their identity and image, to recruit new people, promote their violent acts, and insult rival gang members. But they also used Instagram as a way to communicate through, you guessed it, group text. And guess what is at the center of this investigation? Telephones. They used photos on these guys' phones to identify what they were up to, what they were using their money for, what they were doing on the streets, drug dealing, all sorts of that. Now, number two, Omerta, according to the indictment, was closely aligned with another North Philly gang called Zoo Gang. Some of the Omerta members were also Zoo Gang members or associates. As Zoo Gang was a larger group and covered a larger area, Zoo Gang served as an important connection to the Omerta enterprise with respect to Omerta's purpose to enrich its members and protect its territory and members. At least one Zoo Gang member exerted a leadership role in Omerta due to in part to his membership and leadership in Zoo Gang. Now, Omerta also had connections with other groups, including at least one other group, a group called the Big Natty Gang or BNG. Now, Big Natty Gang is interesting because they were jammed up earlier this year in like May, June, and they were involved in essentially growing the murder rate in Strawberry Mansion. They had all sorts of, dealings in that area. They had the shooting that they committed in the area 33rd and Diamond, one on York Street, Huntington Street, Judson Street, North 22nd, North 28th Street. I mean, these guys essentially created a dip in violence when they arrested. According to what we know, when they were taken off the street, the homicide rate dropped. So all these guys that were arrested on the 30th of July, just a day ago, the 8 guys I'm going to talk about here today, they were close to BNG and Zoo Gang. And again, remember, all these guys are using social media to promote themselves. So let's get into some of the actual predicate acts here that they were involved in. Let me go down here because this all essentially just says what they did, and then we'll get into what they actually did through detail. Again, look at this right here. Let's go to H. Omerta members and associates use social media to identify their organization and its members. They accomplish this by using social media display names or handles, which included the word Omerta and or references to 25th to 30th Street. Now, remember, we're on page 8. Let's go back up to page 1. Notice this indictment here. Jalil Williams, the head of the group, according to them, a.k.a. 25th Street Bill. Raheem Savage, a.k.a. Rock 30th Street. Hanif Robertson, a.k.a. Black Neef 25th Street. Rahis Moore, Heist 30th Street. All of these guys directly identified themselves in social media through the area they were from, and that tied them to this general vicinity, so we know they live in the area, etc. Couple other things. Omerta members and associates made and wore clothing with logos including the word Omerta. Now, I wonder, where were they connected to our friends at Omerta Mia? Because Omerta Mia have all sorts of Omerta type clothing. Omerta members and associates organized and ran illegal gambling businesses on street corners in their territory. That's something straight out of the mob's book. All right, let's get into the defendants. Defendant number 1. Let's throw his photo up really quick. Jalil Williams. There he is. Jalil Williams is a.k.a. 25th Street Bill. Many people in North Philadelphia know this individual. They know what he is capable of. He's a very dangerous person. Let's talk about what he did here. Let's go back to the indictment. 25th Street Bill was a leader. Read that. Leader. This guy is going to be the kingpin. They're going to post him as John Gotti, Joey Merlino, Vito Genovese, Vincent Gigante, Tony Ducks Corallo, Carlos Marcello. This guy is the guy. They're going to paint him as everybody under you did what they had to do, and he is going to get the worst of this. He is the Arab of this indictment. He participated in murders, murders for hire, assaults with dangerous weapons, acquiring and possessing firearms, robberies, and acts of counterfeiting, mail fraud, and wire fraud. He ordered murders of people he deemed to be disrespectful to Omerta and believed he had a bounty on them to be killed, or people believed he had a bounty on them to be killed. Defendant Williams controlled counterfeiting activities and also helped to direct protection for the group and retaliation against rival gang members or individuals who had or whom he believed had wounded or killed Omerta members. Again, what are they going to paint? He was directing people to do things. Again, conspiracy to commit murder in aid of racketeering. To protect your organization, they believe Mr. Williams did what he had to do to protect it. So again, if he believed someone was cooperating or maybe shot at them, he would direct other people below him to do stuff. This is RICO, folks. This is what this is. It's very simple to understand. Now, I want to be made clear here. Jaleel Williams was indicted late last year, and he's also indicted in state court as well. So, look, this guy has a major problem on his hands here. Now, in addition, defendant Williams maintained and promoted ties with allied gang members or associates who could be helpful to Omerta. Defendant Williams planned criminal activity and hired or convinced other individuals to participate. Moreover, defendant Jaleel Williams frequently used social media, music, and music videos to promote himself, Omerta, and other members. This is stupidity at its highest level. Let me explain something, and then we'll get back to the indictment. Real G's move in silence. Nobody actually did this that was really a part and followed Omerta. Gangsters didn't even have telephones. To get to them, you had to go through emissaries. This is insane. This is telling people you want to be known, who you are. You want people to fear you. And the feds are always going to win. Ask Montana Baronet out of Baltimore. Ask TTG all about this. They know full scale. Ask Arab about this. He knows. Let's go through more here. I want to talk about a couple other people here. Rakeem Savage, a.k.a. Rock 30th Street, was another leader of Omerta. Defendant Savage maintained close ties with defendant Jaleel Williams. Now, again, he was helpful to them not only because he planned violent acts and provided firearms and other means such as rental cars, but he also was important due to the fact that he was a reputed member as well of Zoo Gang. It was also important because he was able to obtain quantities of weed, promethazine, and other things. He also participated in fraud, including running gambling businesses, laundered money, and committed COVID-19 fraud. Let's go to one other guy, Hanif Robertson, little guy right here, Hanif. Actually, I don't really know if he's little, but he kind of looks small in this. I don't know if he is or not. I don't mean to disrespect him. Let's get into Hanif. I don't care about his personal appearance. Hanif Black Neef 25th Street was an enforcer. Keyword enforcer. Again, another mob term for Omerta. He participated in murders, robberies, assaults with dangerous weapons, acquiring and possessing firearms, counterfeiting, mail fraud, and wire fraud. All very important. And again, a lot of people believe he was one of the main shooters in killing a person called SJ, a.k.a. Samir Jefferson, 14 years old. Now, it's alleged that Samir Jefferson was shot 18 times. This is one of your shooters, according to the state and feds. Now, one thing that's interesting, all of the individuals that we see arrested here, outside of Harry Draper, who was 46, every one of these people is under the age of 26. They range in ages from 23 to 26. Jaleel Williams is 25. Hanif Robertson is 23. And Rakeem Savage, a.k.a. Rock 30th Street, 26. Youngest person here, Hanif Robertson, 23 years old. Think about that. So young. Let's get into some of the other things here. Let's get into some of the actual crimes and how they committed them. I want to talk a little bit about the counterfeiting. Notice how far this goes back. 2018. 6 years, folks. They've been looking into these people for 6 years. And look how precise this investigation is. On or about August 2nd, 2018, co-conspirators Jermaine Lewis and Justice Harris, both charged elsewhere, passed and possessed counterfeit U.S. currency in Lower Salford, Pennsylvania. That's out of the city. On or about August 10th, 2019, defendant Jalil Williams and Khair Garnett and co-conspirator Tahir Rivers, charged elsewhere, possessed and passed counterfeit currency at Modell's on the 1600 block of Walnut Street in Philadelphia. That's Center City. Jalil Williams went out to Wayne. But he's more who's in the indictment, passed counterfeit currency. Look at all this stuff. They are so concise with this indictment and how far they went. Look at this. On or about January 2nd, 2020, defendants Jalil Williams and Rakeem Savage, the reputed leaders of this group, in a group chat on Instagram, expressed their dismay over Omerta members being more concerned with making money through counterfeiting than avenging the murder of co-conspirator Isaiah Culpepper and the wounding of defendant Bahis Moore. So Jalil Williams is pissed off on Instagram in a group chat saying, why aren't we worried about taking revenge? Shouldn't we be more worried about that than making money? My man, money is king. That said, this is the difference, though, between these young guys and the old mobsters or old heads in the neighborhood. Money was king back in the day. And now it's about A, your reputation, and B, revenge. It's about getting people scared so they don't do this to you. They don't get involved with your turf. Pretty incredible, really. Now, on or about January 2nd, 2020, the defendant, Rakeem Savage, discussed Omerta's firearms in a group chat. Savage informed defendant Bahis Moore, quote, Heis, Kells just took that P89 you claim was yours and gave it to BR. So he's saying that, hey, somebody took your gun that you said was yours and they gave it to somebody else. So we're talking about firearms, removing illegal firearms. Again, more currency being passed. Easton, Pennsylvania, Lower Macungie, that's up near Allentown. Collegeville, that's way out of the city. Easton, that's up by the Lehigh Valley. 2726 Front Street, that's down in South Philadelphia. Where else do we have here? Now, on or about February 29, 2020, defendant Rakeem Savage and co-conspirator Jermaine Lewis, using Instagram, discussed the transfer of firearms. Lewis asked defendant Savage, yo, can I hold your dog down? To which defendant Savage responded, quote, I need it, bro. I be standing on my block. Lewis then stated, I need a dog bad. To which Savage responded, Zay still ain't giving me Bill's John yet. So we're talking about passing firearms through code, aka dogs. I need a dog. I need a dog. Can I hold your dog down? Can I have your dog? Now notice Savage responded, Za still ain't gave me Bill's John yet. So Za is holding 25th Street Bill's gun down, and he didn't give it back yet. John means gun. John is a word in the Philly area that describes something. Yo, give me that John. Give me that John back, that gun back. All right. And remember, I'm doing this because, again, a lot of people watching are probably from Philadelphia, but there are some people that might not be. Notice more counterfeiting, Acme supermarkets, hardware stores, Northampton Township. Look at this, Manheim Township. That's out in Lancaster County. Argon Pike. I know right where this store is. I've been there many times. Passing fake currency. Now, on or about May 20th, 2020, this is several months after C-19 started. Defendant Rakeem King electronically filed a fraudulent app for Pennsylvania PUA benefits. Now, Pennsylvania PUA benefits was unemployment for people in the state. They were. He also stated that he was unemployed due to COVID-19 pandemic and was seeking employment, even though he wasn't. So he was trying to get fake unemployment benefits through a fake employer. Now, again, this system was very wrought with fraud, and they're coming back on all of it. This is all some of these charges are very popcorn headline stuff, like the PUA benefit stuff. At least for some of these people, they'll go to jail over this. But for someone like Raheem Savage or Jalil Williams, this stuff means little to nothing because they're facing murders. Now, several days later, on or about May 25th, 2020, a co-conspirator sent a message in an Instagram chat group, including defendant Jalil Williams, Jermaine Lewis, Justice Harris, and T.O. Rivers, all charged elsewhere, asking, "What's that unemployment link?" End quote. Members of the group chat responded with information on how to locate the specific PUA application and where to file specific PUA applications. So people are instructing other people on how to file fake unemployment benefits. Now, on or about May 29th, defendant Kinnear Garnett, under penalty of perjury, filed a fraudulent application. So all these guys did this. Notice Bahis Moore did it, Ward Roberts did it, Hanif Roberts did it, and Jalil Williams did it. All right, on or about, this is where it gets serious. On or about June 26, 2020, defendant Bahis Moore shot and wounded a person called SS who was driving on the 2900 block of West Huntington Street in Philadelphia. Now, West Huntington Street in 2900 block, that's in the heart of Strawberry Mansion, just south of Lehigh Avenue. All right, let's go through more here. Sorry, I'm moving through tabs here. On or about June 26, 2020, defendants Bahis Moore and Rakeem King fled from the shooting scene of SS on the 2900 block. Now we have more PUA fraud here. Now, on or about July 25th, 2020, defendants Bahis Moore sent an Instagram message. Again, more Instagram. Do these guys know anything about burner phones? Not that this would matter, but do these guys know anything about burner phones? I don't mean to laugh, but come on, guys. He sent it to conspirator Tahir Rivers, in which defendant Bahis Moore told the individuals to let Moore continue to do his criminal activities and that they should focus on expanding their criminal activities because the little PUA money will run out. So again, they're referring to as, why are you worried about $500-600 a week when we can make way more money and that money will run out eventually? So smart. Bahis Moore seems smart here because he's saying, hey, why are you worried about that little pittance of money when we can make way more? On or about August 14, 2020, defendant Jalil Williams posted a photo on Instagram, again, of 4 freezer bags full of marijuana with the text, quote, "good pack." Now, this is where it really gets fucking unbelievable. On or about August 17th, Jalil Williams posted a video on Instagram offering bulk quantities of marijuana for sale. He also posted a video on Instagram offering marijuana for $1,700 a pound. Unbelievable. Now, several weeks later, on September 11, 2020, defendants Kinnear Garnett, Bahis Moore, and Rakeem King conspired to rob and assault LF, resulting in the attempted robbery and shooting of LF that same day. And the defendants Bahis Moore and Rakeem King fled from the scene of the LF shooting and transferred and disposed of the firearm used. So they likely threw the gun away, somewhere. All right, more with counterfeiting. Now, 46-year-old Harry Draper, the oldest person in this, the old head, he received counterfeit money and sold it to a CI. That's important, CI. So again, long time these guys have been under investigation and they're selling stuff to CIs. They're giving stuff to CIs. Harry Draper did this a lot. He did this over several months. They're also, again, continuing to move counterfeit money. This one out in Marple Township, Conshohocken at a Giant, a Plymouth Meeting, King of Prussia. Again, this is all the favorite word of the feds, conspiracy, doing things like going out to other counties to try to move counterfeit money, using burner phones, using coded language. Feds love this stuff. More counterfeiting, Norristown, KOP, Bluebell, Westchester, Exton, moving firearms, Royersford. This is pretty unbelievable. Now, on or about September 29, 2021, defendant Jalil Williams sought individuals to assist him in carrying out one or more murders for hire. Defendant Hanif Robertson volunteered, but was unable to carry it out. Defendant Williams then tasked other associates of Omerta to carry out the murder. To communicate regarding the murder, defendants Williams used the associates and Instagram to send electronic messages in interstate commerce. Defendant Williams and the associates also utilized motor vehicles to ambush the intended victim. However, the Omerta associates shot the wrong people, resulting in the murder of CJ and the wounding of KP and SD. So again, understand these guys are shooting at just anybody. They don't even care. They don't care if it's the wrong people. They're going to do what they have to do to survive. And this is where it gets very dangerous. This is where the feds stand up and take notice. You're using interstate commerce to commit violent acts in aid of racketeering. Harry Draper, again, selling currency to confidential informants. On or about November 29th, here we go. Defendants Jalil Williams, Khair Garnett, and Hanif Robertson. Here they are. Hanif Robertson, Jalil Williams. They shot and killed and caused the murder of S.J. at 131 West Wyoming Avenue in Philadelphia. So in Hunting Park, S.J. is killed. A person called Samir Jefferson, 14 years old. On or about November 29th, they obstructed law enforcement investigation by assisting Williams in remaining a fugitive and undiscovered by law enforcement. So everybody's helping each other. December 2nd, 2021, defendant Jalil Williams or Rakeem Savage possessed with intent to distribute promethazine, a Schedule V controlled substance, so AKA something to create lean at an Omerta safe house in North Philly. Multiple firearms and bulletproof vests in safe houses. Again, this has everything. This indictment has everything. Now, several of these people also moved counterfeit money in Georgia. They were on the run. Notice Hanif Robertson possessing counterfeit money in Dahlonega, Georgia, Cleveland, Georgia, Gainesville, Georgia, Canton, Georgia, Monroe, Georgia, Jasper, Georgia, Canton, Georgia, Gainesville, Georgia, Oakwood, Georgia. These guys are moving more fake money. Let's get down here. On or about May 20th, 2022, co-conspirator Ronald Bell possessed $27,300 in counterfeit U.S. currency and counterfeiting paraphernalia, including paint brushes, holographic paint, parchment paper, and 30 printer ink cartridges. So they're making counterfeit money. This is a big part of this indictment. They did a lot of this. And I also want to point out, in terms of the PUA fraud, that was around $450,000. Now, on or about November 2nd, co-conspirator Nidian Parker Williams, who was charged in another indictment, initiated a video call from jail to co-conspirator this is supposed to be Bahis Moore, who is also, this is Jahis Moore. I believe they're brothers, Jahis and Bahis. They discussed Omerta's violent activities. During the video call, Jahis Moore displayed a firearm. Now, this is where, again, guys, the feds are going to use photos on your phone to fuck you. When they arrest you, they're going to take your phone and they're going to start taking into evidence things from your phone where you're doing illegal things, i.e. betting slip. Now, again, it's not illegal to bet at a Philadelphia casino. However, it is illegal to use unauthorized funds to do so. And they will throw this into the indictment. Also, look at this, saving a photo of his phone, a large quantity of marijuana with the words lemon cake. More marijuana stuff. Again, selling illegal narcotics. Now, again, guys, I don't care about weed. If you want to smoke weed, whatever, go buy it from a dispensary. But again, it is illegal to sell marijuana. I know people don't really care. I don't care. I'm just throwing this in. So again, this indictment is very strong. This indictment is very precise and concise. And this indictment screws all of these guys. They behaved in a racketeering enterprise. On or about April 17, 2023, defendant Jalil Williams and Raheem Savage, the two reputed leaders of this group, via text message, discussed personnel at a state prison where Williams was being held. Now, remember, Williams was arrested back. Jalil Williams is in custody. He's been in custody for a while. He was arrested back in 2023 in Atlanta, Georgia, for the murder of Samir Jefferson. So they took him up the state road. Defendant Williams stated that he had, quote, 1,500 for a particular prison guard. So he had probably a prison guard who was hot, right? He was going to do what they told. Defendant Savage stated that another prison guard was fired. Williams then stated that a new guard was just assigned to his section, but that Williams needed a particular connection to a specific guard to make their contraband situation work better. So they have corrupt guards on the payroll. Again, something that the mafia was doing, getting cops, COs, judges under their control. Now, on or about April 18, 2023, defendant Jalil Williams sent a text to defendant Raheem Savage stating that Williams needed money to pay an individual for a potential murder for hire. Defendant Jalil Williams stated that he would, quote, pay him when it's done and that it's for Debo, or, quote, Jaqueen Owens, a deceased Omerta member. Defendant Savage responded to Williams stating, quote, it was already done. Now, Raheem Savage saved a photo of him on his phone, which depicted Savage sitting in a Louis Vuitton store, surrounded by multiple bags of purchases and counting out a large amount of cash. So guess what? They are going to use your Instagram with all your Louis and your new cars and your shopping trips and your stunting on your girl and taking her to the Cayman Islands. They're going to use all that against you. And remember, just think if you didn't have Instagram, they would never know this unless they were wiretapping and or you talked about it or they were tailing you. So think about this. If they never went, let's say they went to Louis Vuitton and just used $600 to pay out for a t-shirt with cash. And let's just say they wore the t-shirt and walked out and never posted it. This would not be in this. This is what we're dealing with here. The Instagram culture. Instagram culture. Why be a gangster if no one knows who you are? On or about May 8th, 2023, Jalil Williams received a text message from an unknown individual of a man walking. Williams responded, quote, we need him bad. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Now, several hours later, he resent the video walking to a co-conspirator. So they really want the guy they're looking for. And they have him, but no one's able to do it. Now, they also throw in the gambling on street corners. So dice games, price CeeLo, things like that. So they're taking money and running illegal dice games. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think this is like bookmaking or something. They also throw in the big felony here, murders, stuff that's going to get you football numbers, as they say. And guys, for anyone watching this, you think Arab got hit hard? Wait till you see what this guy's going to get or this guy's going to get. This ain't hanging out in SCI Huntington or something for the next 25 years. This is USP Big Sandy, USP Allenwood, USP Beaumont for life. This is Montana Baronet type stuff. And in fact, if you know anything about Baronet and TTG, this indictment is very similar, very similar. I wouldn't believe that any of the individuals, in fact, maybe a few. You look at like Ward Roberts, Harry Draper, some of the guys that were in like the counterfeiting and PUA fraud, they're not going to get life. But like the picks of the litter, him, Raheem Savage, they're all going to get hit real hard here. Kyer Garnett, he was involved with the SJ murder. And again, the guy was 14 they killed. It wasn't some, it was a 14-year-old. It was a kid. So that's that. That's the indictment. And there's other legal jargon for the most part in here. But I think what's so brutal here is when the feds come calling, they have the goods, and they essentially superseded the state case. And the only thing that really worked for the state here is they already had Mr. Williams, Mr. Robertson. These guys were all in custody. These guys weren't picked up yesterday. They were already in custody. Um, and the feds are going to supersede this RICO indictment. And these guys are going away. These guys will die in federal prison. And this is the end game. You know, do I think if Instagram wasn't around, these people would be arrested? Who knows? If they use burner phones, probably not. How would they be arrested? It's regardless of what they tell you, at least in Philadelphia, if you wear a mask, it's still hard to kill. It's still pretty easy to kill somebody. Um, and as long as you don't talk about it and boast about it on social media and in music videos, if these guys weren't in music videos and used Instagram to communicate, it would have been a lot harder. That said, I'm sure they would have been arrested eventually. Because again, when you're looking at, let's say, the Arab case, they still use tails and like wiretaps and stuff, on the trucks and stuff. But in that case, there were no murders. And think about that. Arab still got 45 years. So if you're Jalil Williams, you're getting life without the possibility. And there is no parole in the feds. So if you get life, it means life. You're going out in a pine box, 6 feet under. That's how you're going out. Now, let's say he pleads out, which he probably will. These guys aren't going to trial. There's no fucking way. No fucking way. If he pleads out, let's say they offer him 40 years, which they won't. I mean, I don't. There's a guy I know in the mob world, Vito Guzzo. He pled out the 5 murders, got 40 years. He's going to do 85%. And this guy, look, he's what, 25-ish? 40 years will be in his, he'll be in his late 50s when he gets out. But again, these guys are going to push for trial, I think. And there's probably informants already in this case. Again, I'm not saying any of these people are informants. I don't know, but they're going to flip somebody. They'll flip some of the smaller fries in this case. Someone that knew about something, and all they need is one murder. All you need is one murder, native racketeering, and the gun charges are going to kill these guys, literally, because they'll hit them with fraud and all that kind of stuff, drug dealing, running a criminal enterprise, conspiracy, but they're going to hit them with the 922C, the predicate felony, on top of the other charges. And again, you're killing innocent people. You're shooting at innocent people. There's violence in this case. And that's where the mob today is way different than these guys. The mob today isn't killing people. They're not beating people up. They're not selling narcotics. They're doing bookmaking and loan sharking. This is your new organized crime. So there you go. That's your indictment. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what you think below. This is the new mob, man. These are the new organized crime groups. And this is the life now. Going on Instagram, boasting who you are. And as I heard many years ago, why be a gangster if nobody knows who you are? And that's the difference between your old school mobsters and these guys. Did they follow Omerta? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.